So in the last video, the motor in this tape deck was making a lot of noise, and as I used it, it just got louder. So I wanted to take it apart and see if it can be fixed or if I have to find a replacement. To take it apart, we have to remove it from its housing. The back piece is basically crimped on. I've tried to pry these apart by bending these little tabs back, but I've never had any luck. If you're doing this, you may be tempted to actually try and pry here, but don't do this because you'll just crack the board. The way I do it is to just pry the lid off using the adjustment hole. Just be careful not to damage the board inside by pushing the screwdriver in too far. This isn't really the right way to do it, but if anybody knows of any better ways, yeah, I'm all ears. Besides, I can just bend the lid back into shape later. Next, I just have to remove the pulley, and the motor should be free to fall out of its housing. Now here I just removed the ground strap, and I'm working on pulling the speed control board off the back of the motor. And for some reason, I'm marking the location of the board, even though we know where the ground strap gets soldered to. So I don't know why I'm doing this. Here's how you can do this if you don't have a way to actually remove solder from the motor's terminals, if you don't have a desoldering iron. Just heat up the solder one terminal at a time and lift the board gently, and gently kind of walk it off. Don't apply heat for too long, though. You don't want to damage the motor or the brushes. On the left, you see the trimmer pot. That's what we used to adjust the motor speed before. The back plastic piece is held on by these metal tabs. I just have to bend these tabs back, and the rear of the motor will just slide out. Okay, now before you remove the rear of the motor, don't do it like I just did it and rip it off. There are brushes that may get mangled if you don't move them out of the way first. If you notice here, the brushes are actually bent and wrapped around each other slightly, and that's because of the way I took it off. Yeah, I know better, I wasn't thinking. You see, on the back of most brushed motors, there are these little holes or slots to fit a tool into to move the brushes out of the way of the commutator when you either assemble or disassemble the motor. I can fix these brushes because they weren't too bad and they can be bent back. Instead of buying the tool, really all you need is a paper clip or a solid wire. It takes a little practice, but it's not too difficult. So now that the back is all apart, you can see here's the commutator, and that's what the brushes ride on. And there's a little nylon washer, and that's what they got hung up on as I pulled the back off. So since the back is off, let's pull the rotor assembly out and see if there's anything in there it could be getting hung up on. And I'm not seeing anything, but when I spin it, I definitely can still feel some restriction, and it's dragging on something. And one thing I've always seen is these little nylon washers, and this kind of holds the whole rotor assembly in place, and they get worn out. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take it off here and replace it with just a regular metal washer. And I keep just a spare screw case, so I don't know the exact size, but you see here it's very similar. It's a little bit bigger, but it's about the same thickness. And I'm sorry it's off frame. I suck. So before I actually assemble it, I just want to put a little bit of grease in here. You don't want to use too much because it'll get back into the motor and foul up the brushes. I'm just going to use a very little bit right where the metal washer is going to be sitting. I'm also going to add a little bit on the front of the assembly, and that's going to help hold the washer in place as we reassemble it, because there's a big magnet in there, and it could possibly pull the metal washer off as we're reinserting it. So this grease will help hold it in place. Because it's a little bit tricky and I needed to see, I did do the rotor off camera, assembled it to the back of the motor with the brushes, and really at this point just have to slide it into the housing, and then just have to line everything back up. Once it's lined up, see, now it's actually spinning very freely now. There's little to no restriction. So we're looking good. I'm just hoping that the brushes are making contact and it's actually going to work. So what I want to do is bend these tabs back over and hook it up to a little bit of power and just see if it works. And I'm only putting a few volts through it. I just want to make sure it spins and it spins freely. So I'm going to straighten these posts before reattaching the control board, and it should just fall right over. Just got to make sure we put it back where it came from. And that's not too big of a deal considering we know where the ground strap goes, and because I also put a mark on the board. I just got to make sure to move that capacitor out of the way. And once the board's on, I'll just bend those terminals over a little bit just to kind of hold it in place. So once we have that done, we just have to solder this ground strap back on and touch up those two terminals, and we're ready to reinstall it into the housing. So this little piece here, you got to just make sure that the the hole that's there is lined up with the trimmer pot so that you can adjust the speed later without having to dig a new hole through it. And the back of it, I just used a hammer off camera and flattened it back out. Again, if anybody has any better ideas, I'm all for it. Okay, so now we just have to put the pulley back on, solder the wires back to the motor, and reinstall it in the deck and see how well it works.
So now that the motor's back in, I'm just going to put on fast forward so you can hear it. It's absolutely silent. So that's all it needed. And what happens is that nylon bushing just wears down over time and was causing the motor to run out of alignment. And I've had this problem before with other motors, especially in tape decks. And I just replaced them with metal washers, and I've had zero problems with them since. So now that the motor's fixed, let's see how it plays and see if the speed changed any. First thing I'm going to do is play back that 1 kilohertz sine wave. And we're going to do just like we did last time. Wow, look at that, 1053. So it actually sped up some. So let's do this. Let's readjust it. There you go. I'm going to bump it up just a little bit. And it looks like it's dancing around, but it's switching between hertz and kilohertz. So is there a way to actually... No. Range. I guess not. There you go. There we go, 1 kilohertz. See, if you remember in the last video when I had to adjust the speed because it was running too slow, once I fixed the motor, there was less drag, so it was running a little bit fast. So probably wouldn't have had to fix the speed at all if I just fixed the motor right up front, but it is what it is. So now that we chose to fix the speed again, let's see how it plays. Oh, there it is. So, motor's good to go. It's nice and quiet. It's freed up from that restriction. And now I can move on to doing other things, cleaning this tape deck up. Oh, one other thing, the low end issue where it's kind of distorted, it's this cassette tape. I tried recording something on the other side, and it just does not like bass. It would record low end if the levels were extremely low, but I couldn't even approach 0 decibels before it would, start to distort like it is. So, but it's still good enough for a test cassette. But I'll get another cassette recorded on some decent tape. Decent, not great. I think I have some just normal bias tape, blank, that I'll record onto so we can actually see what this really sounds like. And that'll be next time once I get this thing cleaned up. And that'll be the next video. I have to decide if I want to switch out this display, but we'll look at that next time. If you have any questions, comments, leave them down below. Like the video if it's helpful. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.